Hello and welcome to another episode of Upbeat. I don't know if you guys have seen the updates with the border crisis, but there's an increase of unaccompanied children immigrants and a lot of families separated.
Definitely. I have seen a lot of the footage online and I've seen it on news channels. They just recently let reporters in, I think, to one of the camps. And it's just a tragic situation. I really have no idea how they're going to be handling this in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the one in charge of having to deal with that. Because right now there is an increase of unaccompanied minors at the Mexican border that's overwhelming the holding and processing site for immigrants.
Yeah, and limited beds and other resources are leaving the immigrant children in extreme and even unhealthy living conditions.
Much of the blame is falling on President Biden as a result of his decision to not turn away unaccompanied minors.
The Border Patrol and Health and Human Services, all the government officials tell us they are doing the best they can, but they're being overwhelmed.
The number of unaccompanied immigrant children has increased 61% from January to February and a 170% increase with comparison with February 2020. Trump's administration had much stricter rules regarding how to handle unaccompanied migrants, often turning them away. There are several differing views of what caused this increase. Some claim that the end of Trump's wall being built around the United States has encouraged immigrants to cross the border. Others, like U.S. Representative Veronica Escobar, believes this is an ongoing consequence of decisions made by the Trump's administration that weaken the immigration system.
Many are concerned that the political weight of the situation is preventing solutions to help the immigrants.
We need to make sure that we're following those processes and not allowing people to use these folks as some sort of political pundit. They're not. These are children. And it's, again, very important that we are here to investigate, to fully see it, to have that oversight, and again, do right by these folks.
No matter what caused it, it's undeniable there is a major humanitarian issue at the border.
These are not places for children, and our focus is on solutions and moving them as quickly as possible. We're also making sure we're processing kids more quickly at the border.
The issue is not only the ability to process and help place the high number of immigrant minors arriving with host families, but the limited resources to help immigrants and space to put all of the children.
Representative Henry Cuellar of Texas explained how the different makeshift rooms at the border are meant to house 250 people, but currently have about 400 boys living there. Other politicians are also taking the opportunity to fight for the cause.
That even these facilities that have better conditions than the CBP processing centers are not the places for kids.
Biden's administration comes under fire for their secrecy behind the issue. They have refused to release photos or videos and rarely let the media inside the doors of the immigration camps. Multiple proposals and bills are being passed to help secure and ease the intensity of the situation.
President Biden has given his vice president control of handling the border crisis.
Vice President Harris is expected to discuss the administration's plan going forward to protect and help immigrant minors in the next few weeks.
After hundreds of nominations, the Library of Congress has made its selections of recordings to add to the National Recording Registry.
Each year, the library inducts 25 recordings into the National Recording Registry for their cultural, historic, and aesthetic importance to the nation's heritage.
After receiving nominations from the public, the Librarian of Congress selects 25 recordings each year that are at least 10 years old. A recording can be anything: songs,
and fraternal association,
speeches,
and come with me,
broadcasts,
to describe what happened to Mike is that,
or even podcasts. The 25 recordings selected this year come from a wide range of musical genres and span from 1878 to 2008. The selections were chosen out of 900 nominations. The list of inducted recordings this year includes Kool and the Gang's song Celebration.
And, and it had that kind of down-home vibe to it, grandma and grandpa sitting out on the porch in Birmingham, Alabama, drinking some Kool-Aid. It had that vibe to it.
Israel Kamakawiwo'ole's Somewhere Over the Rainbow, What a Wonderful World. Franklin D. Roosevelt and Winston Churchill's 1941 Christmas Eve broadcast.
How can we give our gift? How can we meet and worship with love and with uplifted spirit?
Louis Armstrong's When the Saints Go Marching In.
When the saints go marching in. Sing it again.
LaBelle's song Lady Marmalade.
We knew it was a hit. How did you feel when you heard it?
Oh, thank you, Patty. I felt like actually, I think I called you and I woke you up. I said, Pat, they're playing our record on the radio.
This American Life, The Giant Pool of Money, which is a podcast that describes the 2008 mortgage crisis. This is also the first podcast to join the registry. Others include Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation 1814 album, and lastly, Kermit the Frog's Rainbow Connection.
Morning star. You know, it's wonderful to be here as part of the class of 2020. And, you know, it seems like it was only yesterday that I was sitting in a swamp playing the banjo and singing Rainbow Connection. And now here we are joining the National Recording Registry.
Keeps us stargazing.
It's always so exciting to hear the songs that are inducted and to reminisce on all of the classic hits. To see a full list of the National Recording Registry selections for 2020, you can visit loc.gov.
The Suicide Squad is back. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad has premiered its first trailer packed full of action and laughs.
These are dangerous people.
Team 2 is clear to go.
Fire on. 3, 2.
What are you guys doing?
What? We're here to save you.
The movie follows a team of supervillains who are coerced into doing good by Viola Davis's Amanda Waller, who implanted an explosive device in the skulls of the villains as insurance. The trailer for The Suicide Squad itself shows this film will be rated R. The amount of bloodshed and adult language present in the trailer proves this from the get-go. This film is going to step up its violence and gore to help appeal to a more adult audience.
I think it's going to surprise people.
You kind of sit there and go, how did they do that?
It's going to be different from any superhero movie ever made.
The movie features a huge cast, including Margot Robbie reprising her role as Harley Quinn, Idris Elba as Bloodsport, and John Cena as Peacemaker. Sylvester Stallone also stars as King Shark, a giant, walking, talking shark. John Cena's Peacemaker is expected to be a highlight of the film and is getting his own HBO Max spin-off from Gunn.
How do you describe this character?
I would say like a douchey, bro-y Captain America.
This is Gunn's first feature since 2017's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. When asked whether the film was a sequel or a reboot, Gunn described it as its own thing, and said his film would not contradict the first Suicide Squad. Gunn acknowledged that film's negative reception, but defended casting choices and focus on character, which he said had added to this film as well.
It's by far the biggest movie I've ever made.
Suicide Squad's status as a sequel or not a sequel doesn't seem to have weighed heavily on Gunn's mind while making his movie.
It's going to be a blast. It was fun to work on, and it was crazy. It was action-packed.
The Suicide Squad is scheduled to be released by Warner Bros. Pictures in the United States on August 6th, 2021. Now, I know for me, I definitely love the casting choices for the first Suicide Squad. I'm really excited to see where they go with these same actors while also having a new and better plot. So I definitely can't wait for the release of this movie coming August.
Nostalgia is in. I'm not quite sure if it's 2021 or 2008. Miley Cyrus is writing letters to Hannah Montana, ColourPop just released a Lizzie McGuire color palette, Taylor Swift is releasing songs from the past, and Big Time Rush is now added to Netflix. As millennials and Gen Z are growing up, they are looking back through their younger years as some classic childhood memories are back.
Stars neck, big blockbuster, opposite of Mission Impossible, Honky Tonk Conquer, say what?
With the 15-year anniversary of the Disney show Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus released a letter she wrote as her character Miley Stewart to her alter ego Hannah Montana, leaving some fans in tears.
As we say goodbye to you.
Part of the letter reads, although you were considered my alter ego, in reality there was a time in my life when you held more of my identity in your glove than I did in my bare hands.
Said goodbye to Hannah. Are you gonna miss her?
I'll never say goodbye to Hannah. She is, always been a part of me and always will be. And
along with the heartfelt letter to Hannah, fans are excited about another blonde character, Lizzie McGuire.
ColourPop Lizzie McGuire, the nostalgia.
ColourPop released a new Lizzie McGuire themed makeup collection that for some fans, this is what dreams are made of. The palette features an eyeshadow palette, blushes, sparkly lip glosses, and lip scrubs, all themed after some of Lizzie's memorable moments and catchphrases on the show.
My literal childhood dream is coming true.
As if Hannah and Lizzie weren't already enough, Taylor Swift has been releasing new versions of old songs, as well as songs from the vault, taking fans back in time. Taylor released her first song from the vault, You All Over Me, this past Friday.
Still got you all over me.
If you saw someone driving around aimlessly, listening to You All Over Me on a constant loop today, no, you did not. Mind your business.
Swifties can hardly wait for Taylor to announce the release of her next song from the vault. While Taylor may not be in a big-time rush to release the next song, Logan and Kendall sure were to tell fans what fan favorite show is now streaming on Netflix.
BTR just came to Netflix. No. Oh yeah.
That's right, as the show's characters announced, Big Time Rush is now on Netflix and fans are excited.
So everybody get up out of your seats, kick off your shoes like you done the reach and jump up.
If you are having a hard time letting go of sweet childhood memories, don't worry, I'm right there with you. You might just catch me later today testing out Lizzie's palette while crying over Miley's letter, listening to Taylor's songs, and getting ready to watch my favorite boys on Big Time Rush. Thanks for joining in for this final episode of the winter season of Upbeat.
Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Have a great day. We'll see you next fall.